Hello, good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Hope so you're all fine. I'm still waiting. No one joined you. I'm just recording this lesson. Today is the first lesson, which we are going to start. Our new unit is called Business Environment. So we're living such a in a corporate world, and the business environment is very intense, and we need to must understand the business environment if we want to be a successful business person in the world. So first of all, today lessons aims will go through introduction to business environment, explanation types of ownership. Our discussion will be on the stakeholders and key legislation. I wish end of the lesson we can achieve what is meant by business environment, different types of ownership as an organization we can start a business, and what are the key stakeholders, what is meant by stakeholder, why power and interest of the stakeholders are different in the organization, and why we need to fulfill their requirement or their interest we need to meet in our organization to achieve our objectives successfully. So please, if you have any question, drop me email. I will answer you. I'm recording this lesson, so because no one joined yet. Okay, business environment. What do we know about the business environment? Business, what we call business, any legal activity which we undertake with the purpose of have a clear goal, clear objective, we call business. Business is with the intention to be achieve objective, some objective we call business. So legal activity. So any legal activity we call a business. So business environment, every organization, either public limited, private limited, sole trader, partnership, every organization have to face some sort of business environment and need to be understand the business environment where we are in. Every country, every industry have a different environment. To understand the environment, to gain the full shares of the market are when the maximize the market shares and satisfying the customer. So understanding the business environment. So we have two types of business environment. One is called internal, one is called external environment. So what is a business environment? Let's everything in an organization environment, the impact on the way it's operate. Some factor have a direct impact, some factor can have an indirect impact. So direct impact, any government legislation will change, have a direct impact. National minimum wage, like a national living wage, if any new legislation will come at the new national minimum rate, it will impact every business, because of course the cost will increase, and we have to obey the legislation, and we have to pay the national minimum wage. So we need to make sure. So that's why have a direct impact on the business. Some factor have an impact and the organization cannot control. Legislation, we can't control it. Government make the legislation. As an organization, we have to follow it. So government make all legislation in the best interest of the public. So key thing is the best interest of the public, and as an organization we have to protect the interest of the public as well as the organization interest. So we need to be think about how we'll balance, and some factors will have impact, but organization may have some influence over them, like cutting the workforce. Yes, putting them in a different shift pattern. You can start early or late, and providing them some sort of flexibility or different break time. So we need to be look around. There are the legislation we have to follow, but we have some sort of control on these activities. How we lay out our business structure, how we lay out our plant is up to organization. It's not, which is a controllable environment, which we call internal environment. So next we are looking, next slide, we're looking two different types of environment. Micro environment, micro is mean big, it's mean uncontrollable, we can't control it, we have to adjust our operation according to the environment. So like a Brexit is happening in the UK, so in terms of the Brexit, new legislation will be enforced. So new legislation, it's not we as a organizations or individual business person, we don't have any control on it. So what we have to do, we have to So we have to just make sure we can just follow those legislations. So anybody any question? So we need to think about, so macro is big, uncontrollable, we can't control it, that's outsider. So next we're looking the micro environment. Micro means small. Small environment is controllable. It's internal within an organization. We can control, like the production, finance, research and development, and personnel. What type of the people we want to recruit in as an organization? HR function we can decide in our organization. Job descriptions, job specification we can decide, we can plan it within our organization. That's up to us, as an organization. So these are called micro environment, internal environment, controllable environment. So we can follow these environment, we can control it. So we need to be look around its internal environment in our organization as well as the external environment. So production, yes, we can decide where we'll want to install our plant. Finance, how much money where we want to spend is up to us. Research and development, which is a key part in our organization, we can, like it's example, Nokia used to be very successful in the world, but Nokia not anymore successful they used to be, and drop significant market share. So research, because the CEO of the company has decided to cut the cost on the research and development, ultimately leads to the organization. So they not produce or launch the new innovative product, and ultimately what's happened, Nokia lost their market share, they not launch. So research and development, it was internally controlled by the internal organization. They can make the decision whatever they want to do with it. So ultimately leads, so we need to think about the business environment in the short term as well as the long term basis, what impact will be on the organization, because ultimately these will leads to the performance of the organization. Next we looking, we discuss the stakeholder. Anybody knows what is meant by stakeholders? Yes, you all heard about stakeholder. There is, please don't be confused, shareholder and the stakeholder. Shareholders mean the investor in the company. Stakeholders mean anybody who has any interest in the organization or will be influenced by the action of the company. Any plan organization will make, that will be impact on the individuals, and we call them stakeholders. Stakeholder, not the generation we are in now, the generation will come after us also stakeholder. So if we are polluting environment, so of course it will impact on the next generation, so we need to think about as well. Political microenvironment, political forces, social, cultural, legal forces, technological, economical forces, all these come under the microenvironment. So when we are looking the environment, organization must face the fact that change is and dynamic. So we need to look around because we have to adjust it in the fact, the things we like it today, maybe we don't like tomorrow or day after. The way we used to shopping, the way we used to sell, the way we used to do business, we're not doing anymore because the things are changed. So what we need to do, we need to think about, and we need to follow it. So that's why we need to be make sure that's the so we follow the change. The speed of the change is of course is a significant, less predictable. The stakes are the getting higher in the business at the organization. So assessing the environment, it's very complex. We need a knowledge for it. We need to think about the technology. We need to think about the fashion. Technology is changing now. Really, people are buying, a lot of banks, they have closed their branches. So maybe we need to think about, by looking the business environment, what is happening, by restructuring our organization. So restructuring of organization is a part of, so we need to look around the restructure our organization by looking the environment. So micro environment, I already, as mentioned earlier, is uncontrollable. Environment is consist of pestle, we call pest or pestle analysis, political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal environment. We have to, as a company, regular review it, what is happening. If we don't adjust it, we could be out of the business. So we need to be look around, identify the critical chain drivers, and examine the historical trend in the past, what is happening, by looking the environment. So micro environment, individual or the organization with whom a company interact, the consist of political environment, natural, social and cultural environment, technological environment, economic environment, and the legal. So when we are looking political environment, let's see, we want to start a business in other part of the world. So first thing we need to think about, the political stability in a country. If there is no political stability, government is a frequent change in different part of the world. So what is happening? Every political party, like in UK, Labour and Conservative, have own manifesto. So political stability and the government political parties' ideology is quite important to understand, because this will impact the future business. So we need to be best understand is political tax policies. Yes, different government, like think about the Donald Trump tax policies, tax reform. Yes, reduce the corporation tax from around 40%, 30% to 20%. So that's a huge, drop. So ultimately, tax, reduction is a benefit for the organization, but we need to think about, as a business, it's a benefit. It will help us to sustain in a business. We can, the tax we are saving it, how we'll reinvest it. So maybe other government will come increase the taxes. Like, VAT, value added tax in the UK used to be 15%, then it went up to 17%, 17.5. Now we have a 20% value added tax. Lot of discussion going around. So these taxes will impact on our profitability of the organization. Program of forthcoming legislation, like in the UK is a new legislation, Data Protection Act. We all heard about the Facebook. What's happened with the Facebook, not follow the Data Protection Act rules itself. Data need to be secured, data can't be transferred, data need to be relevant to our purposes of the business. So if we are getting the excessive information, we're not obeying the law, we're not obeying, ultimately, we as an organization can be, think about the Facebook park, it shares, significant drop. So we need to look around the external environment, those legislation, employment legislation, like, flexible learning, flexible working hour. So as an employer is a new legislation, we need to flexible working. So if we are working on the shift pattern, so we as a organization, we need to offer flexible working practices to flexible shift pattern to our employees. If someone requested by law, we have to. Equal opportunity, gender pay gaps, these are all we need to look around. This government is quite, making the law, and the organization need to publish how much salary they're paying to different people. So like a male and female, especially the management level. So we need to look around these all issues, as the external is a it's come under the micro environment. Economic factor. Okay, it's very crucial to understand the company's economic factor. Inflation rate in the UK used to be inflation rate, quite high. Now it's around, still we have a 2% inflation. It's deflation was, inflation mean the persistent increase in the price index. Deflation is a persistent decrease or the reduction in the price index. So when the prices are decreasing, it means reducing the price. We are buying things expensive. So we need to understand the environment. Exchange rate, yes, pound is becoming weaker than other currency. Pound value is increasing again. So we need to well understand about what impact will be if we are dealing and trading in different currencies. Economics growth, GDP. economics growth. What is the economics growth we have in the country, other country where we want to invest, like in India, economics growth is around 5%. So we need to make sure in different part of emerging economies, economics growth is higher than, but the in developed country economics growth is now economic growth last month, according to the central bank figure, is reduced to 1%. So instead of predicted growth, we need to consider as well, and we have to just, because if the economy is not growing it, we are not getting the more business. So if we are producing more, we are not selling more, people not buying it, their purchasing power is quite less. Anybody heard about per capita income? Per capita income is quite crucial to look around under the economic sector as well. Per person income, like in UK, around $47,000 per capita income. If you go on the website, it's called World Bank data, and you can type per capita income of India, per capita income of China, per capita income of, so the country, those have a very high population, unequal distribution of the wealth, maybe the per capita income is average coming is quite high, but actually is less. So we need to understand, so if we are going to advertise upper and lower society, we need to we need to segment our product accordingly, which will go through some, our one of lesson discussion on the segmentation, on what basis we can do. Taxation, like I have mentioned, is come under the political as well as the taxation under the economics policies. Unemployment rate, in the UK and the different part of higher employment rate, it mean more people working, people more disposable income. This means that people have a more money they can spend. If only 1% in a whole 8 family members, the rest is all unemployed, so what will be happen, so people have no ability to buy the things, and ultimately this will impact the business. So we need to be understand social factor is quite crucial. We living in a society, we are a social animal, and the organization definition is artificial person. So we need to look around what is the society need, and we have to be fulfilled social, and with social factor education. Yes, people are educating, people are doing research, people are inquiring about, people like the quality goods, living condition in the country, is it single, double, sharing, joint family system, individualism system, all these are quite crucial to understand. Trend and the fashion and the taste, trend is quite changing nowadays rapidly, so we need to be, as an organization, BHS, British Home Store, is going to be liquidated. Why Primark is a successful organization compared to the reason is we need to understand the trend, and we have to restructure our organization according to religious belief, like in India, a lot of vegetarian people. So if like a McDonald enter in India, so McDonald change the menu because more veggie stuff, vegetarian stuff, because of course population is more using the vegetarian food. So we need to be look around the religious belief, we need to be follow our HR, all other policies accordingly. So there is a link between the micro and the micro environment, which will go through the SWOT analysis, one of lesson that will help you further to understand it. Employment pattern. So yes, we need to be understand people are flexible working hours, people are part-time, full-time employees, so how consistent they have a job. Ultimately, if they have a consistency, ultimately will help us as an organization to plan in the long run. So technology, it's, yes, technology changing, it's rapidly changing, like a robot, like a lot of technologies in terms of IT technologies, in terms of the automated machine. So a lot of things is happening. So as a business, it couldn't be huge impact. So we need to be best understand we are a very innovative company, we have a latest technology, and we want to be enter in other part of the world, and we want to start a business. So we need to be like, maybe in some country don't have 4G 5G connections, and our technology, our companies work on that. Maybe we need to think about if those technologies is not available in those countries, so which will be hard for us as an organization to operate and do business there. So it's quite crucial to understand. So guys, just up to now, if you look the learning outcome one, we need to be look around, compare different types of organization. We need to understand the environment and different stakeholders. Like I mentioned, you stakeholders, I'll go through in the next slide as well. So planning process. So we have in the LO1, we need to address some points like, we're looking the mission, vision, yes, corporate value, all these is quite crucial to understand of the organizations. So mission is a top level. When we plan something, we need to be not contradict with our mission or vision, where we want to see mission, why we are in the business, what the reason we are doing this business, because is it profit organization where we want to see ourself in future, we not compromise what the value we have, equal pay, we respect, we this and that, all these we need to be understand the corporate value of the organization. With any plan we'll make, we not contradict. Yes, we need to be look around these. So mission come first, then corporate objective we can set, market audit we can do, like the we discuss about internal and external environment, SWOT analysis, our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threat. SW is stand for internal, OT is external environment, so we can compare. So on the basis of this we can we can do the planning. So next, we're looking now. Okay, anybody any question? So anybody any question? If you have any questions, so please ask me, and you can drop me emails too as well. Okay, mission statement. ASDA mission. If you look at the ASDA and Tesco mission statement, to be a Britain best value retailer exceeding the customer needs always. It is the second largest. So to be best value retailer exceeding the customer needs always is a big statement. So we need to think about how we can exceed. So any plan we are making, so we not contradict with our mission statement. So we need to be follow our mission. So Tesco PLC, based internationally, is quite big supermarket. It's used to be called as a role model. The company mission statement read: our core purpose is to create value for customer. Create value. How we can create value for customer? We'll focus on the cost. We'll deliver more than the customer expectation to earn their lifetime loyalty. Is very difficult in the real world. How we can keep the lifetime loyal our customer? So that's why the Tesco launched the club card to keep the loyal customer, giving them the money back, and that's so we can look around what our mission. So guys, any company you're choosing for your research or within your assignment, you can discuss about the mission or the vision or the values of the organization. Okay, next we're looking types of ownership, or if you want to be start a business, we can start a business, different form of the business. We can start as a sole trader. We all well aware of sole traders. One person owner of whatever do, as everything is a 1%, but have advantages and disadvantages. Nothing is perfect. Yes. So owner by the sole trader, legal status. Sole trader is we can start a business instant. Yes, as long as the legal activity. Members can be one, liability, unlimited, legislation, none, regulation, none. Management owner makes all the decision. You're your own boss. So you make good or bad decision is up to you. That will impact partnership. It's regulated the Partnership Act 1890. Partners can be 2 and 20. In some cases can be up to 50, but normally is up to 20. So we need to written an oral partnership agreement. If not written an oral agreement is there, the Partnership Act says equally distribute the wealth between the partners. If we don't have a written agreement exists between our partnership. So private, not available to the public. We need to look around the companies. In terms of the company, there are two types of company. One called limited company, public limited, and the private limited. Public is mean can issue the shares to the minimum £50,000 worth of investment required to be registered as a private limited company. So they have to follow a lot of legislation. Company Act 2006 is recently been in 2000. 6 and few sections were updated in 2011 as well. So memorandums, rule, regulation, AGM, annual general meeting, all So we need to think about what form of the business we want to start as an organization. So stakeholders, yes, we have a stakeholder. Anybody who has any interest in the public is called stakeholder. So these are the different stakeholder: investor, lender, suppliers, employees, customer, government, public, and managers. These are all stakeholders. So the word stakeholder, any person or organization who can positive or negatively will impacted by or the cause and impact on the action of a company. So we call stakeholder. Different authors explain different and issue and gave us different model. So according to the Chartered Institute of Management, stakeholder is any group of individuals with an interest or the stake in the operation of the company. HMRC, they are quite interested, profit to look at figures to charge the tax, So we need to be follow there, and we need to look around the stakeholders' interest. Stakeholder theory, yes, to objective of the business to make a profit. Shareholder wealth perspective, we need to be as an organization, we work toward the maximize the value of the share. So if we are performing well, if we have a good reputation, we're working in the best interest of the public, ultimately the value of the company will be increased. So that's we need to be followed. Okay, these are all the stakeholders. These are all the stakeholders. So shareholder also stakeholder. Not all the stakeholders are shareholders. Okay, guys, if any questions, so please ask me and drop me email. So Johnson and School categorize the stakeholder into economic stakeholders. Those are supplier, competitor, distributor, social, policymaker, regulators, and technological key adopters, standard agency. Those are the technological stakeholders. So Johnson and School, so we can categorize the stakeholders on the basis of the economic, social, and technological stakeholders. So why stakeholder analysis is very, very important to meet their wishes and to exceed, and then ultimately, to sustain in a business. Internal, external stakeholders, those are within our organization, those are outside the organization. Primary and secondary, those are the key, stakeholders. Their life will be impacted, any decision of the company. Those are less likely will be impacted, direct, indirect, primary and secondary stakeholders. I'm not going through in detail, everyone, so please just go through these slides. When you do your assignment, we need to look around conflict. Yes, so what is meant by conflict? Organization versus stakeholder, stakeholders versus stakeholder. We have a conflict, like the shareholder want to maximize their profit, employees want maximum salaries. Yes, so we need to look around, where how we maximize, balance it on everybody's interest. So we have a conflict, yes. So these conflict we need to be minimized, to be achieved our organization objective. I'm giving you one activity so you can try, do a bit of research about two quite big companies in the UK, and even in those are have international operations as well. Next and Marks and Spencer. I hope you all well aware of these clothing companies and have operation in many countries. Even they are offering so many different sort of the product and services. So please go through and do a bit of research. Mission, vision, corporate objectives, strategies, brands, stakeholders done over last 2 years. When you do, that will help you to be further boost your understanding about these stakeholders. Okay, anybody any question? Okay, I have created a Kahoot. Kahoot is normally I'm supposed to do a quiz with you, but unfortunately not online now, so we can't. If you can copy the link, you can just play with it. And next so stakeholder analysis metrics. So we can look around what are the stakeholder, what their impact, assessment impact, and the potential strategies are the plan we can make it to meet the value added impact for the customer. So we can look around the value added product, for the customer. We can look around. So I have added the videos as well for you to watch. And disadvantage of stakeholder analysis, we need to map it, their interest, power, and dynamic interest. That's a different model. What are the problem? How much is the power of the stakeholder? We can categorize them. Some stakeholders, those have a 50-60% shares in the company, they have a significant influence, they can change the management. So we need to meet their interests first, how we can keep them happy. Yes. So stakeholder, and it like children also is a stakeholder. So in a family, so we need to be keep them happy. Those are the stakeholders. So we need to work the best interest of them, but we need to balance our whole family as well. So stakeholders are very important. I'm just giving some sort of example. So sources of power, internal stakeholder, of course, the power they get, the hierarchy or the structure of the organization. So if we have a decentralized structure, the management delegate the power to this different stakeholder. They have a more power, they have more control. External stakeholders mean those are outsiders. So we need to look around what power they have. The big supplier, they have a power, like a Unilever, they have a power to offer the supermarket. Like in the past, it happened, this Unilever said they will increase the prices of their product because due to the Brexit, the cost went up, and due to the value of the pound change. So ultimately, so now we need to think about, then Tesco said no, then they compromise it. So we need to look around. Of course, Unilever have a power, they have operation in more. Anybody knows? Yes, we are well aware of Unilever. Yes, so many products. They have yes, Pringles we are eating. We ice cream, different sort of ice creams, Unilever's product. Yes, PGT bags and all. These are Procter and Gamble and Unilever. Those are two competitors. One is a British company. It's used to call Lever Brothers. It's merged together with one of the Holland company, Uni and Lever merged together. It became a Unilever. Okay, so indicator of power status depends, job grade. If you're a director, if you're a CEO, you have more power. So we need to look around these as well. External stakeholder, reputation, resource dependencies, all these, indicate the power of the stakeholder. Okay. Next, within LO1, we have some sort of legislation which we can look around under the environment, in the legislation, under the pest or the pestle analysis, consumer legislation. If as a company, we need to understand is good need to fit for purpose. If the goods are not fit for purpose, it means, of course, we are losing. So goods need to fit for purpose. So consumer legislation 1979 Act says, so if we are offering goods and services and we are saying, this product is contain this sort of sugar and this sort of things, within a product, but actually not, and that have a negative impact on the health of the consumer. So we need to look around, because that means we are not offering the good fit for purpose. We're telling different story, but actually the product is behaving different. So it means we can be penalized under the Consumer Legislation Act. So Health and Safety Act is all the employer responsibility to follow the legislation. The Health and Safety Act 1970 in the UK, and different country have a different act for it. So we need to be look around these and we have to follow. Corporate social responsibility, maybe we heard about corporate social responsibility. Every company now have to publish the report on the corporate social responsibility, how they behaving toward the welfare of the society, welfare of the environment, welfare of people, planet, and profit. All we need to be followed, and corporate social responsibility. We need to protect organization, we need to protect the environment, and we have to protect the people. We have to pay the fair wages. We have to create a good working environment. So we need to look around the corporate social responsibility as an organization. How much school we are developing, how much roads we have, we contributing toward the society. All these come under the corporate social responsibility. How much we reduce the CO2, how much we are spending money toward the renewable energy. So all these come. Then we can look around the Discrimination Act. So we not discriminate on the basis of the race, religion, gender. So all these come, and as an organization we need to be follow equal opportunity. Yes, we can provide the equal opportunity to the people as a fair. It's a huge discussion are going around. How much is the population we have? How much they representation in the lower, middle, or the high level management? So it's a huge. The company have to publish the reports. Different ethnic group, different how many males, females in the management we have. Ethical issues. That's a big thing. Ethical issues. Corporate social responsibility, ethical. Ethical mean the moral value. As an organization, we need to be follow them. So we need to look around the ethical issues within our organization, and we need to be like not testing on animals. So these sort of things. If you're a member or the professional member of any awarding body, they have their own professional code of ethics. Like you member of ACCA, you member of management accounting bodies, normally like a professional competencies and due care, which mean you have up to date knowledge. Then you need a professional behavior. You need to look around integrity. It mean honesty. You need to look around all these, the five professional code of ethics. Normally it's confidentiality. We need to keep our client information confidential, not to the third party without the notifying them. That's why the new legislation is carry on coming to be the legislation there. But ethical, that's a moral values we set, and every industry has some moral value. Child labor. So these sort of ethical issues we have the organization we need to think about, and we need to. So business environment, LO1. So learning outcome 1 is all about, as we'll go through back and we'll look around. Structure and the purpose, legal, we discuss about sole trader, partnership, private, public limited company, volunteer organization, non-profit, charity. Those are governed under the Charity Act, under the Charity Commission. Cooperative, which is normally the different people come together like a farmer, like we have a co-op. Co-op is cooperative. And that's supermarket, so that's a cooperative business. Lot of corporate scandal, cooperative scandals happen in different parts the world, especially in terms of Pakistan and various other places. So cooperative means few people come together, common interests, and then advertise. But there is a legislation as well, but we need to be follow. Primary mean the major, secondary mean the middle, territories mean different locations. So we need to be the business, is a which market is a major business, or sort of we are secondary sector. In the primary sector we are raw material producer, or we are making the manufacturing the product, that's come under the secondary. Territories mean the service sector. So objective, goals, values, yes, smart objective, profitability, market shares, increase, service level, customer satisfaction, corporate social responsibility, ethical issues like we discussed. Stakeholders, I mentioned different sort of stakeholders. These are all the stakeholders. They have an interest in the business. Debtors mean the people, those owe our money. Creditors mean our suppliers to whom we have to pay if we bought the thing on the credit basis. So next, responsibility we looking, the stakeholder interest, conflict of interest, expectation, metrics. So these are all quite crucial to be look around. Equal opportunity, Anti-Discrimination Act, environmental legislation, protection the environment, health and safety, yes, global warming, charter compliance, and the banking codes. So all these come under the LO1. So guys, anybody any questions, so do not hesitate to contact me. Please drop me email, and I have uploaded, I'll upload further on website, on Moodle as well. So I already included here 2 case studies. McCann's Food, And we have a first bus service, is a coach service, how they manage the environment and how they analyze the environment and what type of decision they have made, keeping in view of that will be help you to. And it's quite good, to go through the chapter of the book is on the business environment as a. So when you do assignments, so please you can cross-reference the book as a reference as well. And these, there are the case studies if you want to cross-reference or you want generic discussion and any examples you want to include. Please start your writing your assignment. I'll see you. Hope so. Everyone will be online by tomorrow. We have a lesson tomorrow again. So please, make sure. I'll drop you email as well. Have a nice weekend. I'll hope so speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.